So let's take a look at absolute references. We've already talked about relative references, and we have examples of relative references up here. And with absolute references, let me show you what happens with absolute references. So I need to calculate a tax on all of these totals. Well, I want to have just one place where the tax rate remains the same. So if I enter, so I could just enter the tax rate in one place and I can look real quickly and see, oh, this is the tax rate. And I want that to be a percentage. So I'm going to right click that cell and choose Format Cells, and I'm going to choose percentage 2 decimal places. And I'm going to hit OK. And now I could enter, like, I don't know, what is it in Fresno? 8.9875. It's like what is 7? What is 7 times 0.125? Okay, it's 8.875, 8.875, maybe, I don't know. And you'll notice there, it entered that as 8.88. Okay, well, let me right-click this cell again, Format Cells, and make it 3 decimal places, and now 8.875. Beautiful, that's the tax rate. And now I need to calculate tax on each of these things here. So making a mistake, I'm going to make a mistake this first time. I'm going to do it the way I know, which is to go equals that amount times the operand that amount, right? So whatever my total was times the tax rate, that'll give me my tax on the total. I hit enter, I got $2.84, okay? So if I go to show formulas, right, and then I copy this and paste it over, watch what happens. Control C to copy it and then Control V to paste it. And look at what happened. Here that's calculating correctly, but here, no, 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 right? And what happened was this formula here has relative references. And it says take the number right above and multiply it by this number. Let me actually move this over here. Multiply it by this, so take the number right above and multiply it by this number, which is right down below, right? This far down below. And so those are both relative references. And as I move this over, it does the same thing. Let me delete these and copy it over. Control C, Control V. All right. So now as I move this over, right, see how the references are all relative? And this formula, wherever I put it, does the same thing. It takes the number right above and multiplies it by the number, or multiplies it by whatever is down here. And in these instances, there's nothing down there. So I need some way to say that this reference to this cell, cell G, G18, right, G18, I need some way to hold that reference to G18 constant or absolute as I move my formula around. And the way we do that is we click up here and we put dollar signs in front of both the column reference and in front of the row reference. So we're now holding the column and the row reference absolute. And I like to write absolute with the dollar sign just as a reminder that you use the dollar sign to make an absolute reference. Now watch what happens when I copy this and I paste it over here, right? Look at what happened now. So it's taking the number right above and it's always multiplying it by whatever's in cell G18, whatever's in cell G18. So that's an absolute reference. So we have both a relative reference and an absolute reference in this formula. The relative reference, which one would it be? There's a question for you. Which is the relative reference? Can you answer it? Okay, hopefully you said, okay, G7 is the absolute reference, or the relative reference. H7 is the relative reference, because no matter where you put this formula, the reference to the cell right above is relative. Relative to where this formula is, take the number right above and always multiply it by G18. And G18 is the absolute reference. So that is a little bit about relative references and absolute references, and knowing how to write a formula by, using the equal sign and then clicking on whatever cells you want to add up and, hitting that, hitting whatever operator, in between the cells you click on. That's a really important skill, and understanding the difference between relative and absolute references is hugely important. And if you know those two things, you're well on your way to using spreadsheets quite effectively. The last thing I will show you in this one little video here is how would I add up the total with the tax. Actually, I'm going to show you that in the next video. I'll show you that in the next video. So let's go watch it.